Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Gerald.
Good evening, Jerry.
Hello.
Hi there. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Kim. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Mickey. Hi,
Hi.
Manny.
Hi.
Hello, Hector, Barbara, Anastasia, Catalina. Welcome to our Wednesday session. So much learning tonight. There's a book by Robert Kiyosaki called The Cash Flow Quadrant. He's the original author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And we're going to be highlighting some of those really important fundamentals in building your PFA business tonight. And before we do that and go into our training, I want to know about you. I mean, there's so many exciting things. I know I saw Gar Singh's daughter graduated from school today, which was really exciting to see. I saw that Daryl and Claudia are out there helping another client this evening. Kim just joined the team this evening. You're going to hear from her in a few minutes. Crystal just joined Mickey's team yesterday. So many exciting things going on. And today I had the honor, my daughter was representing MAC Cosmetics at the New York Stock Exchange, and she was ringing the opening bell today. And she said it was an experience of a lifetime. And for her to be chosen is just an amazing honor. That is just such an experience of a lifetime. And I'm so proud of her. She's 25. She's just really getting started in her career, managing a big time business, the number one ranked location in all of Mac. And I just had a great day. I was recording Bloomberg. I was recording CNBC. I was recording Business. And there she was on CNBC right after the bell. She had her hand raised. She was screaming. And I got, it was like, when it's your child, you get to notice things like, the mouth, the hand, the eyes. And I was like, oh, she's on TV. She's famous. So we had an exciting day, needless to say, in our household. But I want to hear from you. What I want to hear from you tonight is tell us who you are, tell us where you're calling in from, and tell us what you're most excited about. So I want to start off with our amazing senior field director, the great Claudia J. Maldonado. Why don't you kick us off, Claudia?
Hey, Gerald, thank you so much. Thank you, team. Thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're doing today, and what you're doing for us and our team in the future. I'm super excited. What an exciting day today has been. Actually, I just finished recruiting another teammate about 5 minutes ago. And we were able to help out a family as well today. And I couldn't be more proud of Hector, Daryl, Jack, Catalina, and John. I mean, the Avengers are just on fire. We just keep trying to hit our commitment that we made to Jack Wu. And as you know, Life Crusaders also made a commitment. And that's guys, it's already almost halfway through the month. We only have 15 days to hit those commitments. So we put our head down. We're doing appointments. We just keep hustling. We're working really hard because at the end of the day, it's financial independence for you and your family that we're striving and that we're fighting for. My name is Claudia Maldonado. I live on Long Island, and that's it.
A lot to be excited for. You got a new teammate, you got a new client, you got your team pumped up and doing their thing. Congratulations, and thank you for your amazing live training last night. The training you did on prospecting and building your business and different strategies and communication was so not only well prepared, but executed where people learned. They actually applied what they learned. I heard stories today of people applying what you taught last night. Thank you always for your example, Claudia.
Thank you.
Crystal Gleason.
Hi.
Good evening.
How are you?
So good to see you.
It's good to see you guys too.
So tell everybody where you're from. Tell us what you're excited about. Talk to us.
I'm from New Haven. I am actually related to Mickey.
Awesome.
He is he's one of the three that my sister like adopted when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a single mom of three. I worked in the medical field for about 11 years now. I'm actually in the process of training to become a firefighter. Um, so I just been taking it easy, and Mickey had randomly wrote me and was like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not? Like, let's just go for it."
Wow. So single mom with 3 kids. So the firefighting is going to be easy. You're used to lifting things up and moving them around and making things
Right.
happen.
Right.
Wow. How far along are you in the process to become a firefighter?
So right now I'm waiting so this week or next week they're supposed to pull applications in New Haven. I already applied for the position. So once
Mhm.
they pull the applications, we have to do a physical, a oral, and a written exam. And once you pass all three of those, you start the academy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. Good luck in that progress.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome to the team. Enjoy the learning tonight.
Absolutely.
Another Connecticut resident, Hector Velez. Share with us, Hector. You're on mute, Hector. There you
Okay.
go.
Hi. Okay. So basically, my name is Hector Velez. I'm living in Stamford, Connecticut. I'm so excited for for the team for our growth, not just the Avengers, the Life Crusaders. You, Claudia, and everybody that actually provide the training to us. Basically, you guys are taking too much time uh, from yourselves to provide time for us. And, we are super grateful. I'm talking about myself. I'm so grateful because I see the growth in the team, and not just myself. I see the growth in everybody else, and I'm so glad to be a part of this amazing organization and to be a part of this great company. Thank you.
Thank you, Hector. Thank you, Hector. Appreciate you sharing. We're proud to have you on our team.
Thank you.
Mickey Melendez, we're going to stay inside of the state of Connecticut.
Hello to everyone. Everybody know me as Mickey. And first off, I want to say I am super proud of my cousin Crystal to join my team. And I told her this is a life changer. And I can't tell her enough of how much it will change. And every day I can't sleep because I keep thinking about the Las Vegas. I can't wait for the Las Vegas for the conference. So I'm looking forward to it. So
Proud of you. Great job. 3 policies got approved. Crystal joined your team. You're 2 people away from your first promotion.
Wow.
So proud of your example, Mickey. Thank you for your example.
working on it.
Woo! Let's stay in Connecticut. Anastasia Persico.
Coming on, hold on. Here I am. Hi,
There you go.
everyone. I'm Anastasia. I am from Woodbury, Connecticut. It is the antique historic town of Connecticut. And I know I'm kind of dark right here, I guess. I'm an accountant and I joined PFA and about maybe 2 months ago. And I'm working, I will eventually get there, and I'm working on my strategies, but I'll get there. But I am excited about my colleagues and team members there, and I really enjoy the spirit and working with everyone at PFA, and especially Jerry, who always keeps me on my toes. So thank you.
Well, thank you. You're licensed, you're appointed. Now you need to activate your license and start writing some business and get to that next promotion level. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Let's go to New Jersey. Let's hear from our newest team member, Kim. Good evening, Kim.
Hi, how are you?
Good evening.
Hi, my name is Kim. I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey, and I'm just waiting to go on board and seeing what falls in front of me. What's ahead?
Awesome. Awesome. And the purpose of the business is you want to expand your income, you want to get your career going. What's the objective of the business?
All the above. I've been in the financial industry for over 30 years, and I'm looking to move forward and seeing where I can go.
Well, I'm
And
proud of you,
hopefully,
Kim.
I make the team proud.
No, and I'm proud of you because we first connected in November and timing became better. I know you've been going through a lot lately. Our hearts go out to you with,
Thank you.
family and personal. And I just want to thank you for the guts and the courage to follow through. I'm very, very excited about your
Thank you.
future,
I'm just
Kim.
glad that, I had COVID, like I told you, and I'm getting better. So thank God for that. You
Amen.
know, I'm still not
Amen.
100%, but I'm getting there.
Well, thank you for being on. I hope you learn a lot tonight.
Thank you.
Welcome, Kim.
Thank you.
Let's go to Brooklyn, New York. Brittany, talk to us, Brittany.
Hi. Hi. My name
Good
is Brittany.
evening.
I'm from You can hear me?
Yep.
I'm from Brooklyn, and I'm just excited to be learning and being part of this experience. And I'm just, every day, Manny and Hannah helping me, so I appreciate them.
Excellent.
And
Proud.
I guess that's it.
I'm proud of you, Brittany. Not only did you get your first plan approved, you've also booked your first appointments. I am so proud of you committing to getting off to a fast start. You've gone through the trainings, you watched the videos. Thank you for your example, Brittany.
Thank you.
Super proud of you. Let's go to Queens. You're welcome. Let's go to Queens, New York. Let's hear from the great Al San Martin. Alvaro, speak to us.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How are you? How are you? So my name is Al San Martin. I'm from Bayside, Queens. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Navy. I was a combat medic. I currently work at the Bronx VA full-time, taking care of the veterans. I think one of the great things about this business is all the great people that we meet. I'm excited about Mickey and his future. Excited about, him bringing on his cousin, with a great family and working together and, not only helping my career, but helping everybody else's and as a team, and the families we're going to help and protect.
And I know if you want to share, I know you weren't prepared for this, but you shared with me some news earlier today about somebody that you prospected and there was a follow-up and a follow-up and a follow-up and some really tragic news happened today. Would you feel comfortable sharing a little bit of that story?
Yeah, definitely. So we had a young man from Florida. It was recommended by one of my other team members, Malou from Las Vegas. They worked together for many years. Helped him. He became an assistant manager. He was just like a regular store employee, and he was, So we set up like 3 or 4 meetings with him. He's working 2 jobs. He takes care of his mom. I remember one time we finally got him on the phone, and he was driving, but it was raining a lot in Florida, and we couldn't hear him, and it was difficult. He wanted a policy. He just didn't have the time to sit down, give us the information, and finish through. And unfortunately, he was killed over the weekend. He was robbed and shot in the head, and they stole $45 from his pocket. And I was talking to Malou, and she's trying to call the family to see who's going to take care of the mom because there's nobody there to take care of the mother. And she doesn't even leave the home. So it's one of those things that this is what we do. We're the ones that protect the family. We do what people don't want to think about, but the reality is that in those, I know you had, with your brother and so on, Jerry, and it's tough. It happens, and so this is our crusade, and we got to, you never know. You thank God every day that you wake up, and you have another day, but the next day is not promised.
Wow. I mean, my heart really shook today because I'm sitting there going, I know we tried. I know we tried multiple times. We followed up. And when these things happen, it really rips at me because I know we can make a difference in somebody's life. We really can with just one click, one application, one appointment, one thought process. Tonight when we do our license training segment at the end of the initial session, I'm going to take you through a live presentation that happened today on how to do illustrations and how to answer clients' questions. And you'll notice our product sells itself. People will tell you what they want once they understand what we do. And the fact that you kept prospecting and following up, You did your best. You really did the best you could, Al. You really did. You got to believe that you gave your best effort, and my prayers go out to that family. And wow, and everyone on this call now has a story tonight that we have, an example of. You need to be urgent. You need to get urgent, get these plans. You never know what's going to happen in your family's life. Thank you so much for sharing, Al.
Yeah, no, of course. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Let's go back to Brooklyn. The great Manny Jimenez.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Manny Jimenez here, Brooklyn, New York, law enforcement. I'm very excited about first, Brittany, Kimberly, you guys are here in the meeting, and I was in a conversation with Brittany, I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and we were talking about how coming to these trainings, it helps you become a better leader. I was recalling back when I first started, like it was a train wreck, and it was mistake here, mistake there, and through our training, through Jerry and Claudia, we've been, refining the stuff I that I knew and I was trying to do by myself. Like you say all the time in this business, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So I've met a lot of great leaders here, and I'm very happy about that. I'm looking forward to the future.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you for the great compliment. I know you were going through the leaders bulletin and you saw our name was up there as a team, and you're like, man, fuck your we. Next to where it says upline, it says PFA. It doesn't even have a name next to it. So we are the most connected team in all of PFA. Bam, drop the mic. Bam, drop the mic.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Manny. Appreciate you, and I'm proud of your effort every single day. Let's
Thank you.
stay in
Appreciate
Brooklyn.
it.
You're welcome, Manny. Thank you. Let's stay in Brooklyn. Let's hear from the great Kimberly Arias.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Sorry, I'm jumping on late. I made dinner late, but here I am. It's better late than not going on at all. So I'm excited to be a part of the team. I know I've been laying low. It's not that I'm not being a team player. It's just I've had a lot of things just piling up on me. And we're getting through it, and I'm attempting to go next Tuesday.
Okay.
Because Manny's right. When you do go, you do get a different feel. It's just these meetings are great. They educate us or inform us and let us know and keeps us in the loop. But just being there, it's a different energy. It runs through your blood, your body, and everything. Where I told him the first day I was so anxious, and I was like, oh my God. And just listening to your story, getting the information and everything, it is different. It's a different feeling to be there, and you feel excited, even though I guess no, like nothing is really happening, but you're excited inside, like, oh my God, this is happening. We're gonna be millionaires. Like, you are very positive, Jerry, Manny, Singh. I've been blessed to have you guys, and the group meet chat as well. Everybody is so supportive. It's a blessing because just a little support here and there goes a long way. And I know we all have our busy lives. You guys are still on top. Hey, Kim, good morning. And Manny's always hey, my millionaire partner, or whatever he texts me. Sorry, Manny, I don't want to embarrass you. But I just feel it's beautiful to have a strong team, and positive and just everything. And I really do see big things happening, especially with Singh, my friend who's there.
Yep.
I can't see his face, and that's fine because you don't see mine. You see a picture. But he's also, I'm blessed again to be in this adventure with you guys and move forward in life and leave my current job as a teacher. I'm not happy no more, but again, I got to put in more work, because the more work you put, the more success you see. You can't expect to be rich just sitting here nice and quiet. But
Right.
I have been studying. Manny sent me the guide, you sent me stuff. So I've been studying, and I'm looking to take the exam. I know I was supposed to take it this week, next week, this week coming up, or maybe even this weekend.
Gotcha. So
Let's
a
see.
couple things. Thank you, Kim. And I appreciate you sharing. First of all, thank you for staying plugged in. I know you said you've been laying low, but I notice you post every day. You're always putting in a living benefits post. You're always promoting what you're doing. You're talking to people. You're following up. You're booking new appointments. You're staying plugged in. That's key. That's key. Now, you still with me, Kim?
I'm here. I'm listening. I'm waiting for it.
Okay. We're gonna help a lot of teammates out today. This is a coach's locker room. Like this session is kind of like we coach and we're gonna get good together. Do not say I'm gonna try to be there next week. You have to be a person of your word. No trying. You either come or you don't. And again, I'm not being hard on you. I want people's language. I want your language. I want every one of your languages to match your actions.
Okay.
Not woulda, coulda, shoulda. I'm going to try. Maybe this weekend. No, it's definite. It's definite. Now, you don't control things that happen, right, Kim? You have things that pop up, right?
No, absolutely.
So don't say it if you're not sure if you're going to make it. Only
Right.
say it when you know you're going to show up, because then your word's your bond.
Okay.
This is how you get people to follow you, because when you say something, it's done. When you say, I'm going to try, I'm going to make the, now you sound like everybody else.
Right.
And most people never follow through because they give themselves the out. And
Right.
by the way, this is not I'm not trying to make you say you're definitely going to be there on Tuesday. That's not what I'm saying. I want to make sure
Now
you're.
I'm gonna have to go. Manny, I'm
No,
coming.
no. That's
No.
not what I'm saying. I want you to pay attention to your language.
Right. It's the wording. The wording is it's
Listen
yeah.
to me. The reason why I became a millionaire at 33 is I put my head down and I made no excuses and I did what I say I was going to do. And I would
Right.
always underpromise and overperform. So when the leader of the company heard me open my mouth, it wasn't BS. It wasn't, oh, he says he's going to be there. Oh, he's going to make an effort. No, I'm going to be there. I'm going to do 10,000. I did it all the time, but I always underpromised. So I would never disappoint him.
Right.
That was my self-talk. And I want all of you to start learning from that. I don't care what your goal is. I hope that doesn't sound insensitive, because I care about you, but I care about you working on getting better and conditioning yourself to be successful. So Kim, thank you. Thank you for what you said. You just helped so many people out.
I know. I was just doing so and everybody can learn. Like Mickey, you see, this is what we needed. This toughness.
That was so choreographed. I wish we would have choreographed it. That would have been great.
This is wonderful. You're awesome, Jerry. Thank
Proud of you, Kim. Proud of you.
I'm blessed. Thank you so much.
Woo! Let's go to Manhattan. Barbara Morgan.
Hi.
Good evening.
Finally, Manhattan's here. I've had a hard time with my computer. Oh, she says about herself, really. Anyway, I'm so glad to be here. Last week I was on vacation and I missed Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's really good to be here, like I said. And Claudia, your training last night was great. I love when you train because it was, specific. You have us role play and everything like that. And I'm sorry that my acting didn't meet your quality, but next time a little forewarning will really help if I know that I'm the manager or something like that. Anyway, we do great as a team, and I just encourage all the new people to make it every week because it's really important. The team spirit is really great there. You come away encouraged, and I'm blessed too.
I mean, you got well fed too. There were people there. They had, like, Arlene ordered brown sugar, and by the time the meeting was done, the brown sugar was in the building. Popcorn was popping by the time people came in. There were homemade Chinese dumplings made. When you come in the place, the aroma yesterday was off the charts. And then the fruit, and there was strawberries and the blueberries and the coffee and the green tea and the camaraderie, like you mentioned, the team get together. Anastasia said it earlier about, the fellowship and the people getting together. We are building a family, an extended family of people you can count on. Okay, no offense to anybody's family, but if you have a normal family like we do, everybody's got different types of families. Finally, we got a place where people can count on each other and they can be themselves and grow and get better. Can't do that with your normal family in most cases. because they talk about you in front of you, behind you. When you leave, you can hear like your ears kind of falling off when you leave the building. So thank you, Barbara. You are an amazing teammate, and we're just so proud to have you as part of our team.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Staten Island. I mentioned the graduation earlier. Sing, how are you this evening? He might not be able to because I know he was celebrating. He's on mute. He's on no camera. That's fine. Why don't we go to Long Island in the meantime? The great Catalina. Good evening, Catalina.
Hi, how's everyone? Happy to see everyone. So I'm Catalina Adames. I'm from Long Island. I work for a hospital. I do medical coding. And I'm excited to meet my goal. You know, I have to. So that's my focus. And I'm working towards meeting it and achieving it. So just going for it.
How was your birthday last week? What fabulous things did you do?
What did I do? So my friends, they set up a nice dinner. One of my friends' husband is a chef. So they set up a nice dinner with a nice little arrangement and the wedding with the family. It was a surprise. So it's nice. We were to go together, alone. But what did I do? So Sunday I went to a spa place as part of my birthday. And what else? There's something else I forgot, but yeah, it was fun. It was good.
Awesome.
I had a
I'm
great.
glad you had a great birthday. We missed you, but we understood. Like, I know Denise's birthday is tonight. She's out doing something fabulous, so this will be recorded. And I'm sorry about last week. We had technical difficulty. Last week's recording did not happen, but today technology is taken care of. We're happy that you're part of the session tonight. Thank you for sharing, Catalina.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So let's dig in. I want to dig into a couple of things that I found to be very, very important in learning our business. I want to make sure my screen is visible. And this might be the part of the session where you start taking some notes. And the reason why I say take some notes, because it's the terminology I want you to become familiar with as you start the business. See, I learned a long time ago, success is a language. And it's a language most people do not speak. So you need to learn the terminology in order to learn the language. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll notice it says E is employee. Everyone that I've ever met in my life starts there. And it's usually a cultural / traditional thing if you come from a middle income background or you come from a lower income background. I come from both. I come from a lower income, then ultimately some point became a middle income household. But, it was tough. I grew up in an environment where my family was on public assistance for my entire childhood. So it was a rough beginning. So the kind of language I heard growing up was something like this: go to school, get a good education, and then get a good job. And then you work your way through the ranks. And eventually you're going to get to where you need to get to. And I really bought into it. I believe I bought into it. As a matter of fact, I can prove I bought into it because my first full-time job ever was in June of 1986. I worked for a company called Alliance Bernstein Capital, and they start at 9 o'clock in the morning. I would get there at 8 o'clock every day. The job finished at 5 o'clock. I would never leave before 6. So my grandmother taught me always arrive early and always stay late. And I practiced that for the next 7 years of my life, from the age of 16 to the age of 23. And every year that I worked at a job, I continually grew. I earned more income. I moved up in the different companies. And then in 1993, my life changed and I transitioned to becoming S, which is self-employed. So the only difference between the employee and the self-employed is employee means that somebody is telling you how much your time is worth. So at a job, regardless of, I know Catalina's in the medical field and the computer section, Manny's in law enforcement, Kim is in the education field. So we have people from all different backgrounds. So regardless of what your employment is, there's a dollar amount that your time is worth as an employee. So you're literally exchanging time for dollars as an employee. When you become self-employed, think about the terminology. You're employing yourself. So I look at self-employed as salespeople. You look at any successful multi-billionaire today, and I think the most famous ones you're familiar with, somebody like Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, who passed away, Warren Buffett, who's still alive, Microsoft, as an example, Bill Gates. They all started as salespeople. And the reason why they started as salespeople is they had to come up with an approach to sell their product. You know, Steve Jobs was Apple, whether it was the computer, the iPhone, what have you. Elon Musk was technology. For if you're talking about the company Tesla, that was the product he was selling. Originally, he's the person that started with the PayPal. He was part of the PayPal group in the beginning, and they were selling moving money. They were in the money movement business. You look at Microsoft, they think about this. They visualized before PCs, personal computers, became popular. When I say popular, that personal computers would be in everybody's household like it is today. Well, 40, 50 years ago, that was a pipe dream. So his vision was someday in the future, people are going to have computers in their households and they're going to need the software to run the different programs. One of the billionaires I've personally met back in, let me think about what year it was. It was in the year 1991 is the first time I ever met a billionaire. His name is Michael Dell. Does anybody know where he's from? Michael Dell?
Dell Computers, maybe?
That's correct. Dell Computers. He is the founder of Dell Computers. And I'll never forget that chance meeting with him back in 1991. I was working at a stock transfer company. I was the inspector of elections, and Dell Computer was a publicly traded company. Well, those of you that don't know Michael Dell's story, I encourage you to watch it and learn about it and get, dive into his actual biography. Michael Dell was selling personal computers from his dormitory room in college. He was going to the University of Texas down in Austin, and he is now one of the wealthiest billionaires in the world. He is the founder of Dell Computer. And I met with him personally in June of 1991. We literally sat at the same dais where they were electing the board of directors and the proposals for the stock. And I was 21 years old. I was a kid when I first met him. And I knew it was going to be an entree to meeting other billionaires in the future. But he was self-employed. So every successful business owner, which we're going to go to next, was at some point self-employed. So I want you to look at your PFA business, especially those of you that are starting. I'm thinking of Crystal. I'm thinking of Brittany. I'm thinking of anybody who's really brand new. Mickey, just getting started with us. If you're brand new, you're transitioning from employee to self-employed. So you're working for yourself. You're creating your job. How do you create your job in PFA? You set appointments. You get your field trainer, whoever's training you, it's their job to take you on appointments and show how this business works. If you got somebody like Krista with 3 children, one of the trainings we're going to talk about is how to set up savings plans for children. Why? Because if you have 3 children, you probably know other people with children. If your kids are going to school or they're playing with other kids, they probably know other parents in a similar situation. So your trainer will do that. Well, oh, excuse me. We then want to transition to the right side and get you to become a business owner. We want you to be a business owner. And what's the difference? A business owner is someone who owns a system and people work for you. Let me give you the best example of this. There's a perfect example on the phone tonight. So Alvaro is somebody I know for a bunch of years from my previous company. We stayed in touch. It's unbelievable how Alvaro moves to Bayside and we open up in Bayside and we reconnect after all these years. But Alvaro gets involved in the business. He joins the company. He comes to a meeting Jack Wu was hosting last year at our Bayside office. He comes to the meeting. He gets involved. He gets started. And next thing you know, he starts recruiting and prospecting people like Malou, who he mentioned earlier. And then recently, Mickey joined the team. So Mickey joins the team, and now Mickey's going through the fast track training. So Mickey not only does he get involved? He helps get 3 policies put in place. Then Mickey talks to his cousin, who is Crystal, so she gets involved. So I want to make sure you're getting this. So Al was not involved in the 3 policies. Al was not involved in Crystal joining Mickey's team. But because Al has a system, he has the system worker for him, and people are joining under him. Every one of you need to do what Al is doing, which is to invite people, schedule appointments, invite people, schedule appointments, and the system will help grow your business. And then the 4th thing here, it says investor. At some point, and Claudia, you said it perfectly earlier, and I couldn't have said it better myself. My wording is that PFA is the greatest full-time business opportunity that can be started on a part-time basis until your part-time income exceeds your full-time income. So we have people right now part-time that make multiple 6-figure incomes. Jack Wu was talking on a Q&A session just last week that there's somebody on the team who's earning $400,000 part-time, and they want to know if it's time to transition and go full-time. Now, some of you might be laughing because if you were making $400,000, you'd be quitting your job. I heard Kim earlier, let me get out of there. But listen to me. The reason why people don't transition from part-time to full-time is because they've not built a system yet. See, our product is so good. You can earn 4, 5, 600,000 just selling the product. But if you're only selling the product, what category would you be in from the screen? If all you're doing is selling, what category would you be? What category?
Self-employed.
Self-employed, correct. Because if you don't sell, you're not making any money. If you don't sell, you're not making any money. So David Carroll built a system that's so good that even if you don't understand everything, the system will take care of your people. The system will do the selling. The system will help with the recruiting. So ultimately, we want you to become investors. The best way to become an investor in this place is get yourself an Index Universal Life Plan, maximum fund it, increase your income, continue to maximum fund it, and eventually you can use that as a lifetime income stream for the rest of your life. So we have a business model that will take you from the left side and transition to the right side if you follow each step by step. So the crusade of our business is to help people, and Al did a great job earlier talking about that example of, we make the effort to help people, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. Sometimes things happen, and we got to be urgent. I hope you're all starting to get the sense that the key to the business is not about you making money. The key to this business is helping people. So there's got to be an urgency in spite of your distractions, in spite of the things you might have going on. And by the way, these are not excuses, okay? When you're not feeling good or you're dealing with a family issue, that's not an excuse. That's a real life situation. But what you're going to notice in life is that you're always going to have something popping up, but you have to plow forward anyway. And I'm thinking of Crystal, with 3 kids. I'm pretty sure there's times, Crystal, you have 3 kids. I guarantee there's times you weren't feeling good or things weren't going good, but you still have to take care of your kids, right?
Absolutely. Nobody else can do it.
Exactly. So even if you're not feeling good, even if things aren't going good, you still have to do what you got to do. And that's what business is. Success in business is plowing through. I love the fact that a business like PFA, it has nothing to do with IQ. It has nothing to do with your family background. It has nothing to do with your gene pool, whether you're a man or a woman, or you're tall or you're short. It has nothing to do with it. It's the size of your heart, how bad you want to be somebody. What is your tenacity? What is your perseverance quotient? What is your bounce back ability? What is your flexibility? How flexible are you? Are you able to get on a call last minute? Are you able to, get creative and do what you need to do to be part of it anyway? So the actual crusade, if you look on the left-hand side, the concept, and I'm hoping you're taking some good notes tonight. The concept is called the theory of assets and liabilities. So what you're going to notice is on the left-hand side, in the early years, you may need a lot of coverage. Why? Because in the early years, you have young children, you have high debt, you have a mortgage. So a loss of income is devastating. See, if you die too soon, the loss of income will be devastating. If you look at the gold line, unfortunately, in the early years, you don't have much money. Let me give you a statistical fact. You will earn the most money between the ages of 45 and 65. Let me say that again. You will earn the most money between the ages of 45 and 65. That's just a statistical number. That's how it works. That's just the math of it. So in the early years, you need to start increasing your savings. That's why we recruit people. We're giving people a chance to have a pot at the end of the rainbow. We're giving people a chance to become financially independent. We're giving them hope. But the light at the end of the tunnel, it's not an oncoming train. Okay, it's really a chance to change your life and live a lifestyle of your dreams. I spent some time with some friends today, and one of the guys is a really good friend of mine. He owns a very successful business here in New York. When I say successful, we're talking about $100 million plus business. We're talking about a very, very successful gentleman. And he had two of his friends, and we were hanging out, and they were the two most negative people I've ever met in my life. When I mean by negative, they were just bitching and moaning and complaining. And the one guy, he said something today. He goes, going after success is not all cracked up to what it sounds like. If you go after success, you might be miserable in the process. I go, what? Who'd you learn that from? So obviously he's got a negative connotation of being successful, where somebody like me, I'm saying, I want to work with Crystal. I want to work with Brittany. I want to work with Manny. I want to help them be successful because they're going to be even more happy. They're going to travel. They're going to take care of their families. They're going to have security. They're going to eliminate stress. And this guy, Dennis, who I was talking to, he curmudgeon, just a miserable. And I told Mike afterwards, I said, listen, if we hang out ever again, if that guy's hanging out, I ain't coming. Okay, because that guy's like radiation. Some of you stay around negative people and you're okay with it. I get around somebody negative, I want to beat the. Do you understand? Life is hard already. Could you imagine life being hard in your negative? Life being hard and everything's half empty. Life is hard and the whole world is going to crap. How could you ever move on? You have to stay around positive people. Positive people are like a daggum magnet. They're like radiation. They'll get you if you stay around them, just like the negative people. But positive people will lift you up. They're going to believe in you. Hey, sometimes they'll believe in you even when you don't believe in you. But I know some people are like, oh, they're just full of crap. They're just trying to pump me up. All right. Okay. All I know is this. One of us is full of crap. And you're probably going to wish that it's not me. Because at least my crap that you call me full of crap is believing and hoping and wishing and wanting and growing and improving and getting better. Okay, those should have kids. You'd want your kids around this energy. You'd want your kids to improve. You look at how my kids are doing. It ain't no accident they're doing great. They're around a great environment. We just got invited. The CEO and the founder of PFA, David Carroll, invited my entire family to have dinner with him in Istanbul, Turkey next month. It's a super exclusive invitation with him and his wonderful wife, exclusively to have dinner with them. Didn't just happen. You think if I was negative and miserable and bitching and moaning and complaining, he would invite me to come to dinner? You'd have to bring Tums if that was the case. He doesn't need an antacid. He wants a positive, uplifting person, and all of you have the chance to do the same. See, if you look in the later years, you better have some money. Why? Because when your children are grown, your debts are lower, your mortgage is paid. Now you need income. See, living too long, retirement income is needed. See, the coverage is not as important later on. Why? Because if you have assets built, you're self-insured. Now look at the bottom. Problem number 3 is, what if you become ill? Well, what if they have a heart attack? Cancer, stroke, become disabled. Our policy offers the solution. It's called living benefits. And for those of you who are licensed and appointed, right at the top of the hour, I'm going to show you a segment on how to run those illustrations and save people's lives. The puzzle piece that the company has created is, to me, the greatest visual I've ever seen to explain what we do as a company. So as you can see, the 3 puzzle pieces on the left-hand side, that's if you die too soon. Well, we offer a program through life insurance, and we have 2 different riders, a GPR and a GFR. So the GPR is the Gap Protector rider. So that allows people to increase their policy every year for the first 10 years with no proof of insurability, and it locks into the original year they bought the policy. So if there's an example of a client who maybe they can't afford the proper amount of coverage today, they can slowly, incrementally improve their policy. If you look on the right-hand side, it says if they become ill, there's something called ABRs. And ABRs are called accelerated benefit riders. And PFA has marketed the product of National Life Group exclusively. And we have exclusive rights to their product called the Living Life Defender, where that policy helps people do through fertility. It helps them through the Alzheimer's challenges, critical injury, critical illness, chronic illness. I mean, we can help people in so many ways when they become ill. It's called a living benefit policy. And then the final puzzle piece is called living too long. So you get the upside growth potential and the downside protection. So it's a potential for a lifetime tax-free income. By funding the policy, we can help people have a stream of income that they will never outlive. So this puzzle piece is an incredible example of the crusade. If you look at some of the statistics that have gone on, there's a lot of people right now. Okay, this number has grown over the years. 266 million people have life insurance in force in the US. That was back in 2018. I'm going to bet that number has increased. And as recent as 2021, 52% of Americans owned life insurance. So I'm looking at this slide from 2 points of view. I don't see it saying 52% of the people own life insurance. I see it that 48% of the people do not have life insurance. And if you're one of those people that are listening to me tonight, don't let the week go by without you getting a plan in place for you and your family. Okay, the first part where it says 266 million people, I know for a fact, statistically, only 2% of all the policies have living benefits. So if I did some basic math, so it says 266.9 million. So let's do 266 million times 0.98. So that means 245 million of that 266 do not have living benefits. That's a market. To me, that's an opportunity. I love both parts of this. We can help the people who have insurance because they probably don't have a living benefits policy. And we can help the other 40%, 48% of the people who do not have insurance to get a living benefits policy. So the opportunity is there. And the proof is the system. And I want to wrap up with this so all of you can have the understanding of terminology. I want to make sure new people understand terminology more than anything else. So this is the new recruit flow chart. And again, I think Crystal's a great example. Kim's a great example. Brittany, all of you that are just getting started with us. So a new recruit is a person who joins PFA. And what's beautiful about our system, they're not really joining PFA. They're joining your team. I love the fact that Al was able to get Mickey involved in the company to join Al's team. And then Mickey was able to express his enthusiasm through Crystal, and Crystal was able to join Mickey's team. So now as I'm talking to Crystal and I'm talking to Kim and I'm talking to all the brand new people, who's going to be on your team? How are you going to introduce people to your team? Because once you start recruiting new people on your team, now you have the opportunity to earn overrides, which is compensation from what the people on your team do. So you put them into this environment, you educate them, you get them comfortable with what you're doing, you answer all their questions, you handle their concern, you coach them, you believe in them, you coach them, you believe in them, and then you could profit from that relationship. The next thing is called a field trained recruit. That's an FTR. So these are terms and acronyms that you want to become familiar with, because in future slides, you're going to hear these terms again, and you want to know what they mean. So a field trained recruit. So again, I'm thinking of Crystal. I'm thinking of Kim, who just joined. That's a new recruit who has successfully finished 3 personal recruits. That means 3 people have joined your team. You heard me say to Mickey earlier, you got 2 more people to go to get to your next promotion. That's what this is referring to. And then it's a minimum of 3 training sales of 9,000 points with a CFT, which is a certified field trainer. So on the line tonight, Claudia J. Maldonado and myself are what's called certified field trainers. What does that mean? We've personally recruited people, we've personally sold policies, and we've gone through a vigorous training regimen that is located on the PFA community called the Certified Field Trainer course and exam. The exam requires an 88. You need to get over 88 score in order to qualify as a certified field trainer. Why? Because we want to make sure certified field trainers know what they're doing. I don't want to send a brand new person out with Kim. I don't want to send a brand new person out with any brand new person that's on our team, okay? Whether it's Crystal or Mickey, if the person's not certified. You deserve, as the brand newest person joining our team, the best quality training possible. And for those of you who are already licensed and you're already appointed, that should be all what you're thinking about right now is how do I become a CFT so I can be the best value to the community and the people that I'm bringing onto my team. So the 9,000 points, what that is simply is if you take the amount of premium that the client is paying monthly. I know, Mickey, we did one plan was $300 a month. So if the premium is $300 a month, you simply multiply that by 12. So 300 times 12 is 3,600. So that one sale was worth 3,600 points. The sale I'm going to talk about with our licensed agents a little later, that sale is going to be somewhere around 400 a month. And that's 4,800 points. So whatever the monthly is times 12, as long as it adds up to 9,000 points and 3 recruits, you qualify as a field trained recruit. The next tab, it says licensed field trained recruit. That is someone who is licensed and appointed. That's FTR, field trained recruit. A LFTR, which is a licensed field trained recruit, can only refer sales, but cannot sell on their own. So if somebody's already licensed, somebody is already appointed, that's awesome. You can actually earn commissions, you could refer clients, but you cannot personally sell or personally train someone until when? At what point can you do that? Who wants to chime in?
Certified field trainer.
When you become a certified field trainer, which is what? You go through the course, you get an 88 or better on the exam, you go through your interview with your upline QFD, you hit the minimum requirements, and next thing you know, you're a certified field trainer. Thank you, Claudia. And then finally, to become a certified field trainer, these are the requirements necessary to become a certified field trainer. So even if you're the newest person who's Kim Lockwood, who's on with us tonight, Crystal, who just joined the last 24 hours, you need to know what each of these steps are because this is how you're going to matriculate through the system. You start as a new recruit, you become field trained by a certified field trainer, then you become licensed, and then you become a certified field trainer yourself. So a certified field trainer is a licensed field trained recruit who has taken the CFT certification course and passed exam. They passed the QFD interview, which is either with Claudia or myself, and they've closed a minimum of 6 supervised sales of 18,000 points. So once you've gotten your 3x3 done, once you've gotten your license, and then once you become a certified field trainer, now you can sell on your own independently, and now you can train not only people on your team, but you could also train people on other people's teams. I love what Al was doing last week. Al had a meeting with a young lady. I think she speaks either Mandarin or Cantonese. Which one was it, Al? What was the language?
Cantonese.
Cantonese. And what did you do? Obviously, you found out quickly I don't speak Cantonese, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So what I did is I reached out to Yvonne and set up a meeting in the office, just so nothing was lost in translation. So I connected them and I just sat in a meeting and listened to their Cantonese.
That's awesome. Now, Claudia, I know one of the things we talked about in the managers meeting this past week, what's part of the protocol that people should be aware with when it comes to certified field trainers? What was that protocol the managers were talking about?
Well, with the managers, we spoke about that at all times. They have to speak first to the qualified field director in order to go ahead, in order to have someone assigned as a CFT on a case. And the reason why is because a lot of people don't understand that the business, we take a lot of responsibility as qualified field directors. And that's what they were saying in the meeting. We take a lot of responsibility as a qualified field director. And, you know, you never know. So you have to clear it first with your qualified field director in order for you to assign a CFT.
Right.
You
So
know-
let's be very specific. So let's say John Cucci is on your team, and
Mhm.
John Cucci has somebody who speaks Creole,
Right.
and he's gonna tap on somebody else who's a CFT on a different team who speaks Creole. So the protocol is John Cucci comes to who first?
Me.
Goes to you.
Mhm.
So you go to your upline QFD first, you explain the situation, and then you explain who you're wanting to get involved in that business. Now, the reason why you do that, not only because of the responsibility, is we also know who the best people are in the company in different situations. Just
Exactly.
because you know somebody doesn't mean they're the best. Just
Correct.
because you're familiar with them doesn't mean they're the best, okay? I promise you that protocol is in place to protect you. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate the manager. We were talking about that in detail, that there is a protocol. And by the way, if that ever happens where, let's say you go directly to a QFD and you didn't first counsel your upline QFD, that QFD is going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're going to be in trouble is they know the protocol, because the very first question they should ask you as the referring person is, did you clear this with your QFD?
Yeah.
And when that doesn't happen, then we have a breakdown. Then it becomes people start talking to other people, and now we have a problem. Now there's no trust, there's no system. So all these things are in place to protect each of you. Thank you, Claudia. That was a really good, important factor. Well, that completes my section for tonight. So for those of you that are not licensed and not appointed yet, our session is done. I want to thank each and every one of you for being on tonight. For those of you that are licensed and are appointed, we're going to start that segment right now. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. It was great seeing you.
Good night.
Good night, Crystal.
night.
Good night, Kim. Good night, Singh. Always a pleasure seeing you.
Good night, Gerald.
The licensed people stay behind.
Yep, the licensed and appointed agents stay behind. If you're licensed and appointed, this is for you. Got to turn your cameras on if you're able to. If you're not, I understand. I definitely need to see some of your faces. Thank you, Claudia. Appreciate you sharing that part.
Well, yeah, it also, I could understand what they brought up, that it also affects their persistency.
Yeah.
And it's at the end of the day, it's their business. So I understood exactly what the managers were saying. And I agree.
Yeah, and that's why I love these trainings. And Manny, I want to thank you for your feedback earlier that you enjoyed last week with the split protocol and the training. I really appreciate your feedback. And again, I apologize. We had technical difficulty. That was not recorded, but I'll recap anything you want me to do. Is my screen visible?
I see illustration example.
Yep. Yep. KINH.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna take you through this. We're gonna be done by 9:30. So again, I really appreciate your patience, but this is gonna be major for a lot of you. And when I say a lot of you, it's major because this happened today. So I was very fortunate. One of the benefits I have of being a leader in PFA is I am a member of the Diamond Club with National Life Group. I don't know if you realize this. There's only a few dozen people in the whole National Life Group. When I say a few dozen, like 60 people that have this designation. And I'm one of them. And inside PFA, there's only 30 people who have the Diamond Club designation. And I'm one of them. As a matter of fact, I'm number 2 of the 30. But I'm not going to brag about that because you know my thing. I don't brag, but I need you to know what happens. So as a Diamond Club member, here's what happens from time to time. There'll be people. How many of you know that National Life Group now has more than 1.2 million clients? How many of you know that? Right? For some of us got started a couple of years ago, it was less than 1 million. It's now 1.2 million. How many of you also know that life insurance agents will sell policies and eventually they'll punk out? How many of you know that?
Yeah.
They'll punk out, right? They get tired, they get distracted, they do something else, something happens, they leave. So these clients are called orphan clients. So the first people who get contacted when there's an orphan client are the Diamond Club members. Why? Because they know the Diamond Club members know how to sell. They know Diamond Club members know how to communicate. So they have a very high trust. So now as we start building leaders on this team, our ultimate goal is for you to be a Diamond Club member. So here's my first question. What do you need to do to be a Diamond Club member? Who knows what the requirement is? Who knows? Who knows?
Become Jerry Chipola?
Right. But be specific. What's the number? What do you need to do to be a Diamond Club member? It's number.
300,000.
300,000.
Mm-hmm.
You do 300,000 in target points in a calendar year, you're a Diamond Club member with National Life Group. That's the number. Last year, we did 474,000 personally. So we far exceeded the 300,000. So that tells me that we have people like Claudia who are about to do it this year, and Manny and a few other people that are coming up the ranks. That should be one of your goals in your mind, to be a Diamond Club member. So on this screen right here, if you want to take a screenshot of it and take some notes, these are the points I want you to get from this meeting today I had with Ken. So Ken bought a policy from National Life Group well over 10 years ago. It's actually a product that is defunct. It's not even in existence anymore. It doesn't even occur. But I got a message today. I got an email from Sandra Lawyer. And here's what the message said. Could you please follow up on a request we made for a new agent for policy number LS blank, 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 blank. His agent is not active. He is looking to increase his face amount. How many of you would like to get a lead where somebody calls into the company and they want to buy more life insurance? How many of you want that lead? Become a Diamond Club member. You're going to get those leads. Those leads. Listen, if you got the leads and you didn't know what you were doing, you couldn't sell it. That's why they give them to the Diamond Club members. Now, as I start to get busier and busier, I'm going to start having some of you help me with these. I'm going to have you call these clients, but I need to know you can do it. I need to see you as a CFT. I need to see you recruiting regularly. I need to see you selling regularly. So I'm going to show you a clip, and this clip is only going to be 15 minutes. But I want you to look at these points, and as these points happen during the meeting, I want you to pay close attention to what happens in the dialogue. So let me introduce you to my new friend, Min. Let me introduce you to Min. Come on in, Min. It's not Min. I apologize. It's Ken. Ken. Yeah, you could even say the name wrong and it's going to be okay. Here we go. Whoops. I need to move this. There we go. Is it at minute 5?
And we only see the wordings, 1, 2.
You only see the wording. Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. Here we go.
There we go.
Show you what that looks like. So if you can see the middle screen where it says initial policy information.
Okay.
So I want to focus on that section. So 500,000 is the initial face amount. That's the terminology used in the insurance industry. That's the death benefit. But I'm also going to show you it's also a living benefit. So it's not just a death benefit, it's a living benefits policy. So if God forbid you have a heart attack, cancer, stroke, you're going to have access to 90% of that number while you're alive.
Okay. At what age?
At any age.
Got it.
That's what makes this different than the State Farm or the other options with the pricing, is that this is called a living benefits policy.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why my friend had me sign up on this while he had the, during a concern, but he's no longer doing it. So
got it. That's the key. To me, that's the difference maker. Price-wise, you're going to see we can do it many ways. That's why I love the plan, is not only can you use it while you're alive, but you can structure it in a way that fits your budget and what you want the outcome to be.
Right.
We got that? That was the first 2 things. I explained the living benefits and what makes it different than everything else. In selling, you have to differentiate your product from what they're looking at elsewhere. And the second thing is it's structured based upon their budget. Do you notice that comment allows them to take control? They're not being sold something they can't afford or they don't want. So you notice in the middle, there's several options for the premium. So the number right below the 500,000 is the minimum. We never do that. And the reason why we never do that number is that's just enough to keep the policy alive,
Okay.
but it's not enough to grow the cash that you don't get sick, you don't die, you still want to have money available. There's not much to be had. And sometimes it's not even enough to pay into it to keep it alive as you get older.
Okay.
The next number is called the target premium. And that's the one that's $6,865. What that is the computer says, okay, how much should Ken put into the policy and it never lapses, and he's going to accumulate cash over the time of the policy, and it's never going to go away. So it's never going to end. It's never going to go away because you're putting enough money into it. You're properly funding it.
If I'm reading it right, that number should is that annual investment in a way,
Yes.
right? And then
Correct. That's
divide
the
by
annual.
12, that's where you get the 572, correct?
Bingo. Correct.
Okay. All right.
Exactly. Everybody get that? I'm taking sure he's not picking minimum. He's not picking the minimum because it's never recommended. He's picking the target because the computer configures it to ensure it never lapses. I'm giving you the insight. I'm giving you all, this is the secret. You're getting all the secrets here. You better make sure you're soaking this up and not multitasking and focus, because this is how you sell policies. You remove the objections. You eliminate the objections.
Okay.
Now, the next two numbers, the first number is called MEC, M-E-C. So MEC is a technical term for Modified Endowment Contract. So in any given year, you can put up to $35,309 into the policy.
A year.
A year.
A year. Okay.
Right.
That's
So why would somebody do that? Well, for a lot of reasons. One, because the
Savings.
majority of that money is available
Right.
immediately. So it's not like you have to wait until you're older to accumulate the cash. You're accumulating the cash because you're overfunding the policy.
Right.
And then the
So
right-hand
let's
number.
say, I'm sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
The right-hand number is the guideline level. So that's the
Right.
amount that you can put in every year, and it grows tax-free.
What do you mean put in? So that, okay, so I can put up to 9,000 a year, is that?
So you could put up to the 35,000. So that's the MEC number.
For a year.
For a year. If you wanted to
Okay.
put the same amount maximum per year, that would be the 9,624. So if you put the 35,309, you could only do that for a handful of years only.
Oh, okay. I got it. So
And I'll
it's
show you that. I'm going to
limited.
show you that. I'm going to show you both examples. The first example is the one that they call the target. So you can see the target.
Right.
If you scroll down to age 70, just to give you some time for compounding, you'll notice at age 70, it'll have $430,010 in the cash value.
Okay.
Now
On
that
top of
number,
the 500.
that's if you're doing the 500,000 at the rate of the 570 monthly.
Got it. Okay.
So if you go to the left, that's what the 6,865 is.
Right. Okay. Okay.
That
Now, is
430.
that is a guarantee number, or is that a
So that's what I'm getting to. So they're using in this illustration an interest rate of 5%.
okay, at this current moment?
At this current moment, the actual historic S&P 500 rate is between 9 and 10%.
Right.
So it's going to be higher than that. So the illustration will always give a conservative estimate.
Right.
It most likely will be double that amount, but definitely more than 430.
Right.
So that's the first example. So if we do the math, that's you putting in the 6,865 over that period of time, which in your case is over the next 30 years, that would give you the 430,000 on the low end.
Right. Now, as far as withdrawing, is there any penalty?
Great question. So in the first 10 years, I'll scroll back up. You're going to notice in the middle, there's the accumulated value, and then there's the surrender value.
Right.
So the accumulated value and the surrender value at year 11 will become the exact same number.
Okay.
The first 10 years, there's a decreasing surrender charge. So you'll notice in the first year, you'll accumulate 4,600. but you'll only have 0 available because you're still in the first 10 years of the
Right.
surrender.
Yeah, it's similar to what I have now at my 300. I can see the
Yep.
yeah, the missing number.
Do you see how simple that was? It clearly delineates it, but you need to know it's year 11. So this way, when you're navigating the illustration, you're a ninja. You're moving around and highlighting to get to the point to explain your point. Pretty simple, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and you can see later on, like by year 7 and 8, they get pretty close, 39
Right.
versus 34, 55 versus 52. But I'm going to show you the example of the guideline in the MEC. You'll notice the numbers get even smaller and more accessible because you're overfunding the policy.
Right. Okay.
So the penalty would be if in fact in the first 10 years you were to take all of the money, you would only have access to that percentage difference between the accumulated and the surrender value.
Right. Okay, I'll let you continue.
So that's the target. So we saw the target was the 6,865. So when I tell it to do the guideline level, that would be the next level up. That would be the 9,000 and change. So that would be $802 monthly. And like I said,
What is this one?
This is the same 500,000.
Oh, okay.
But this is doing it at the guideline level. So this is doing the 9,624.
Got it.
Which is the 802 monthly.
Well, that will increase dramatically.
Right. But you'll notice so will the accumulation value. So in the 11th year, it's still same number, 114,725.
Right.
When it was a much lower number earlier. And then the 30th year, instead of the 400,000, it's almost 700,000. Yeah.
Now, let's say if just an example, if we go with the 6,000, right? Let's say down to the 8 years, and I want to increase to a 9 or 10. Would that kind of carry over, or do I have to start fresh again?
Great question. Oh, I love these meetings. You're making me excited.
Well, I did some homework.
I like it. It's the education that excites me. So let me show you exactly what you're asking. Do you see how that was created? Because I broke down the target and the guideline, and his brain automatically went into, I could start with the target and then increase it to the guideline later. Did you notice how that happened? That's not magic. That happened because I broke it down that way. That's what I'm saying. Visually, it's so much easier because the visual will allow me to actually show that example live. As my internet says, come on, Verizon, let me spin. There we go. All right, so we do target. What year did you want to change it at?
Let's say 10 years from now.
Okay, so we do 1 through 9, and then we do add, and we do. You're going to add your row. There you go. Guideline level, 10 through maturity.
Because the reason I'm looking into these because COVID and inflation are just out of whack in a way. So
yes,
it's unpredictable. So I need to adjust some of my, safety net.
You're doing, and by the way, what I strongly recommend, being that you're doing the research you're doing, get more of your money into these tax-free strategies we're talking about versus tax deferred. A lot of people are doing, maximum funding of their 401k, the 403b, and the deferred comps and the plans they have. And you're basically ensuring the government to have a great rate of return when you retire.
Yeah, but they're gonna take most of it out anyway. So these is more a safety net. Savings. I'm looking at these as a savings. So
exactly. Did everybody get excited that this is the consumer? They see it as a savings, as a safety net. They realize what COVID and inflation have done to the economy, and they have to restructure themselves and have tax-free strategies. It sells itself. You just have to be able to I'm sorry, I don't mean to get dramatic, but I want you to get so good at this so when you meet somebody like this, you can be a ninja. You can give them what they're looking for. It's your confidence they buy. It's you knowing what you're doing. That's what they buy. They're going to want the product once they understand it. Oh, I get excited.
So
Exactly.
yeah, doesn't matter how people look at it. These are like savings.
Bingo. So look at year 9. So 1 through 9, you put in the 6,865. So you
Right.
notice in the 9th year, it's 55,000 accumulated. You have access to 52. So most of it is
Right.
available. Then the
Right.
following year, in year 10, you go to the 9,600, and almost all of it is available. So you have 66,000 and 65,000 is available. And exactly as the previous example, in year 11, 100% is available
Got
all
it.
the way
Okay.
through.
So that's the sweet spot.
Yes.
Okay. So, are you able to access my current plan?
No. So the form that I send you, the servicing agent form, that is the form that we send to National Life Group, and that will give me the access. It usually takes them 48 hours
Oh, okay.
to update it. So once I have that back from you, I'll forward it directly to National Life Group,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll give me that access. They send me an email and they say, "Yep, you have access," and then I can reach out and we could pull up the existing policy as well.
So I wonder, well, I mean, the current plan I have is called Index Universal Life Secure Plus Paragon. I don't know if that means anything.
That's an older plan. That's not even
Okay.
available anymore.
Okay. Is
So
that
they
a
wouldn't
good?
let you. It was the best they had at the time, but they wouldn't even let you add to it anyway.
Got it. Okay.
So the backstory was he wanted to increase his existing plan. And because his plan was defunct, he couldn't do it. He has to get a new plan. So he's asking me to become the servicing agent for the old plan so we can analyze that. And I'm not going to go to that part at the end, but he's basically going to move that money out into the new plan and do an internal conversion and increase his policy this way. So that was the whole navigating back and forth.
If I surrender the whole thing, what would that do?
We need to look at it first.
Okay.
We'd have to look at it. So the answer is nothing. I mean, the answer is without even looking at it, nothing. It would just we would just have to determine what's available. And if
Right.
it makes sense, if paying a penalty or not paying a penalty makes sense versus holding it for period.
Okay. Or I can just keep it, right? It wouldn't hurt.
Yep, exactly. That's what we'll look at.
Yeah, okay. All right. So I'll have to wait for that. Number wise, I mean, if I am going to, yeah, there's so many things to consider. Okay. Since we're playing with numbers a little bit, can you reduce that down to 350?
Sure.
Or is there a
350,000?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Now you see, that was important. That was number 11. You don't assume it's anything. You confirm that it's something. That could have been 350, which is the contribution.
Right.
Or that could be 350,000. I want him to tell me what the 350 is. So everybody got me? That's why you have to know this, because you're going to focus on them. Pay attention to them. They're going to tell you and direct you.
Yeah.
That's why I love live. Live, you could do whatever you need to see so you know what to analyze on your end. And I'll send you copies of each of these examples so you can have them.
No, you don't need to. We'll wait for the next one. With
Okay.
Yeah. I'm very easy to digest on numbers. Okay.
Perfect. So 350 is 4,800.
Okay. So with the monthly thing right now, I think I'm more comfortable with that number. And then down the road 5 to 6 year, and I can bump it up because there's nothing to lose.
Exactly. You're saving money. You said it the right way. You perfectly said it. That was number 12. I reiterated what he said. I hope that was the end. I want to make sure you got what happened. So what he did was he threw 500,000 out at the beginning. Wanted to see what those numbers were. Then he wanted to see what the difference was between the target and the guideline. Saw that. Then he realized that was outside of his range, so he brought it back down to the 350. But once he was able to resolve that he could increase the contribution after the 9th year, and he wouldn't have to start another 10-year surrender period, because that's really what he was asking. He was thinking by increasing the number, now he's got to do another 10-year period on that new number, and I showed him live that's not how it worked. At the 11th year, in every scenario, the surrender and the accumulated value are the same. He just needed to see that, and then he back engineered the math on his end. Did everybody get that?
Yes.
So let me get back to my screen. Was that helpful to anybody?
Yes, very helpful.
Yeah.
Let me get back to that final screen.
Jerry, can I ask a quick question?
You got to hold on a second, Anastasia. Let me
Okay.
finish. Let me finish the training, and then you're more than welcome to ask any questions you like. So, if you got the screen, did everybody take a screenshot of this or take the notes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the first part was we went through the living benefits, made sure he understood this was a living benefits policy. Then we structured it based upon his budget. It was the face amount he was asking for. And I showed him the difference in the numbers, the difference of the target premium, the MEC premium, the guideline. Obviously, I did a clear explanation of the minimum, that's never a factor because there's never enough money being put in to sustain it. So that was pretty simple. Then I try to give it an age 20, 30 years later so I can show some compounding. And then I explained the difference of the using the 5% factor versus what the S&P does. Talked about the penalty, which is simply explaining the accumulated versus the surrender. Now, this is critical because if somebody's trying to save money short term, this doesn't make any sense. But if they're saving money long term, it makes all the sense in the world. They know they're going to have access to all of their money at some point. And then the $6,000 to start and then increasing it to $9,000. Notice how many times I say great question. I said it multiple times. I want to acknowledge he did his research. I want to acknowledge he knows what he's talking about. I want to make him right. I'm just the vessel. I'm the vehicle to get him from what he wants from calling customer service at National Life Group. He has no agent to having an agent that understands him. That understands him. That's what I want to make sure he understands what's going on. I understand what he's wanting, and I can help him get that. Then I added the row, year 10 to maturity for the different premium. So you're able to structure it, different amounts of premium at different times. He mentioned the COVID and inflation, so he needs to adjust the safety net. Product sells itself. Then the 350 was the clarity of 350,000. I used his language of savings. And then the next segment was about loan. He was asking about the loan. It was pretty basic stuff. Listen closely and do not disagree with him. Break it down slowly. The minute you start disagreeing with your client, you lose.
Yep.
Okay, you don't BS them. You don't just yes them. You acknowledge it and then you explain it to make sure they understand it. What was your question, Anastasia?
Okay, so it was a two-part question, actually. The conversion that you mentioned, is that based on his original policy or does it change when he does a conversion because he was already an existing policy holder? And then the second part was, you mentioned a penalty. I just wanted a clarification on what the penalty stipulated.
I didn't understand the conversion. Where did the conversion come in this conversation?
You were talking about how he was wanting to convert from one policy and start a new policy, or take money out from his original policy to move it over to a new policy.
No, you misunderstood that. The original was he wanted to increase his current policy. And he's not able to do that because that plan is defunct and it's not available. So he has to look into a new policy.
Okay, and then moving the money from the original policy to the new policy, is there a penalty?
It's an internal transfer. It's not a penalty. The policy is more than 10 years old. So there's no penalty.
Okay.
It just needs to be viable. We'd have to get through compliance first. I need to first, and I said that a couple of times, I need to first review his policy before any of that occurs. I can't, there's a saying in the doctor world, recommendation without prescription without diagnosis leads to malpractice. So I don't make any recommendations until I analyze what he has. So I was very non-committal or giving input on that. What was the second question?
Oh, well, so I think you answered it, but basically it was, well, we talked about the penalty, but the conversion, is it rated at what, if he has to get a new policy because he wants to increase it, is he rated at the same level as he was at originally 10 years ago, or does he have to
No,
start at a
that's
new-
no, no, that question makes no sense. All life insurance is based upon current age. Any
Okay.
example, you asked the same question the other day about the conversion of the term. It has nothing to do with the original age. It's at the attained age that any policy is approved. It's based upon that age that they're applying. It has nothing to do with the original policy, ever. So I don't know where that's the second time you've asked the same type of question. That doesn't happen anywhere. That what you just said doesn't exist.
Okay, just clarification on my part.
Gotcha. Any other questions? All right, we hit 9:30. We did perfect. I hope that was educational. I hope you learned from the dialogue, the communication, the breakdown. I can't wait to do a whole bunch of other examples like this going forward. God bless you all. Have an amazing night.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you,
I like how you slowed it
Jerry.
down for him.
You like what that, Claudia? Say that again.
And you slowed it down for him.
Mm-hmm.
You slowed it down for him. That was good. You mirrored a lot.
Yep.
Mhm.
I wasn't like excited. It wasn't like that. I was matching him. I was answering his questions. I was making sure he understood. I wanted to make sure he knew that I understood him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You tuned in.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
All right, thanks, Jerry.
All right,
Good night.
thank you.
Good night, guys.
Thank you, Jerry.
Be
All
well.
right, good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All right.
Good
Thank
night,
Mary.
ladies.